Okay, so there's an interesting date to keep in mind in January. No, I'm not talking about the 20th, although, of course, that's a big date. However, talking about January 15th, huh? What am I talking about? Be right back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on my channel, the Save Money and More with Jan channel. How you doing today? Hope that everybody is doing well as always. Happy Friday. Where do we go? These weeks are just flying by, and to think that in another week or less than a week is the big turkey day. I hope you're getting ready for it. I hope you're getting all the best prices you could. And more importantly, I hope that you have a wonderful upcoming turkey day. Listen, let's talk about a date in January. Nope, not January 20th. We all know the significance of that date. Talking about January 15th, huh? What's January 15th? Well, excuse me. Remember that dock worker strike back in October? Yeah. When people were on a full blown panic shopping, stocking up because, they left it sort of in a hanging pause mode up until the 15th of January. It seems like most of the stuff has been ironed out and maybe they came to an agreement. But my thing is this, I don't know. I'm not a dock worker and I don't understand how it works. My question is this, if everything was supposedly resolved, then why didn't they do all the finishing touches and not have to wait until January 15th? I don't get that. But that's just me. But for some reason or another, they are waiting until January 15th to put this in its final stages and seal the deal. But I look at it this way, anything could change, right? From point A to point C, especially in a situation like that. I mean, hopefully everything is resolved. January 15th will come and go, no change whatsoever. But let's look back in this past October and what happened with the panic shopping. You don't want to be part of that. So while you still have an opportunity and more than an opportunity, because at this time usually canned goods are at a better price at this time. The pre-Thanksgiving canned stuff, take a look around you, take better advantage. So if you're going to stockpile in anticipation for any reason, and that's another thing I want to bring up, but this is a better time to, stock up. I'm just saying. All right. That's another thing I want to bring up. So too often when we talk about stockpiling, people right away think that people are referring to an apocalyptic situation. No, we're not. We have our own personal crucial situations that could come up, like back in September when my a good old friend, Mr. Refrigerator, decided to say vamos and adios. And between the time I ordered the fridge to the time I got the delivery of the fridge, I had to live on, thankfully, that I had it available pantry items in my stockpile, and it got me through those days. And it was about a good week and a half. It was a week and a half, maybe slightly longer, because they didn't have the model I wanted. It was a long story, but it delayed everything, and so on and so forth. Put it that way. So a couple of weeks later, couple of long weeks later, and I refused to eat dinner out every day and stuff of that nature. I'm not going to do that. So instead, thankfully, I had my grocery stockpile, of shelf stable items. This is what I'm saying. There are the big emergencies that would affect everyone at the same time. And then there are the little emergencies that would only affect you, but they're your emergencies. Okay. And that's a big thing to affect you. So there are the big crises in life, and then there's the little crises that, eventually affect an individual or a small family, so on and so forth. So you never know. Always be prepared. Don't always worry about the big thing. More often than not, it's the smaller crises that occur. Example, job loss, medical issues, okay? Uh, just so many changes, personal power outage, something happened in your home, renovations that went wild, and you got to dig into your stockpile, whatever the reason. There are so many myriad of personal reasons, not always to think all the time apocalyptic situation. And that is a big mistake. That's a big mistake. Let's talk about a couple of things one could do with some pantry items. You could make a couple of really nice salads just by using some canned items. And I had mentioned it on a recent video because I was watching someone else doing a low cost Thanksgiving type of video. All those come out around this time of the year. And it's fun to watch the individuals in their own little homes and how they, menu plan. It's interesting. Not everybody does the same thing. But I learned a cute little pantry salad idea. Very, very nice. Actually, it's a relish. And all you have to do is get a can of cranberry sauce, slice it up, and then you put that to the side. And all you have to do, you have to love mandarin oranges like I do. I would take, well, she took, the lady in the video, take a small can of mandarin oranges. She drained out the juice. I have no problem drinking that juice, by the way. And she put those mandarin oranges with the cranberry sauce. So she made an orange cranberry sauce, like one, two, three, with two pantry items. And she had some nice pecans or pecans, however way you prefer to say it, and she crushed them and she put them on the top of her cranberry orange relish. Amen to that. That has no choice but to be good. I didn't make it yet. I definitely want to put it on my short list to make it. So these are two things you could have in your stockpile. And if you're going through, let's say, a situation where you're living from your stockpile, putting those two things together sounds like a fun thing to do, and it'll put a little brightness in your diet during those days. I'm just saying, and even of course, just for regular time as a side dish at dinner time. Hello. So yeah, let's see. So another thing, of course, are easy peasy salads. You can make chickpea salad. You can make artichoke heart salad. Just with a couple of pantry items in your stockpile, and jazz up the stuff you have if you're going through a situation where you're eating from your shelf stable stockpile items. So find ways. There are ways, and there are ways to do things. But I think it's really important because right now, all of us are focusing naturally on the holidays, right? Okay. But I always say this, January still comes. And in this case, it's for a different reason, not just to avoid credit card debt. In this case, it's because of, I didn't hear 100% things were ironed out with those dock workers. Okay. So just keep an eye on the news. Okay. I'm not saying stay glued to it all day, night and day, but keep an eye on that date, January 15th. So why don't you just pretend? Well, maybe there will be a problem. Just pretend. And even if you overbought, you're not going to do anything wrong because you'll be very ready for the future and you're getting today's prices instead of tomorrow's prices. Now, it is my hope and prayer that in a few months, prices might take a nice downward spiral. Yay. That's one time you don't mind hearing the word downward spiral. But that's then. I still don't know at the moment of now, but keep your eye and ear out on the date January 15th. Perhaps everything will iron itself out, but on the stockpiling Friday, I thought very much to remind you of that date. And to also remember that you don't have to have an apocalyptic situation to use a stockpile. There are so many reasons, even as simple as I don't feel like going grocery shopping today, and maybe being able to stick it out another week, or you need to stretch your paycheck that much more, if you see where I'm going with this. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate everybody's time. Don't forget to come back in the future for some more stockpile saving tips on Stockpile Fridays. Have a great day, everybody, and a wonderful upcoming weekend. Don't forget to click like if you didn't do so already. Clicking like really helps my channel out. Don't forget to click like, share, and of course, subscribe.